Hello everyone. In today's lesson we're going to learn about the conditional perfect or condicional perfecto. So let's take a look at our cartoon. ¿Qué habría hecho MacGyver? In that sentence we have a clear example of conditional perfect. So let's begin by reviewing the perfect tenses. Remember that the perfect tenses are formed with the verb haber or to have plus a past participle. So if we look at the verb hacer, the past participle would be hecho. So in the present tense, in the form of yo, it would be he hecho. In the pluperfect would be había hecho. And in the future would be habré hecho. So now, let's form the conditional perfect. It would be yo habría, tú habrías, él, ella, usted habría, nosotros habríamos, ellos, ellas, ustedes habrían. And again, plus the past participle of the verb. In our case, it's the verb hacer, so the past participle is hecho. Habría hecho. So now that we know how to form the conditional perfect, let's take a look at when to use it. The first and most important use is to express what would have happened. So for example, if we take a look at the sentence, you would have won the lottery with those numbers. Would have won the lottery is the event that could have happened, but it didn't. The equivalent in Spanish would be habrías, which is the equivalent of you have, would have in the form of to. Now, ganado, which is the verb ganar in the past participle, and then the rest of the sentence. La lotería con esos números. The second use is to express probability about the past. So let's take a look at the sentence. It was impossible that they could have won the election. Don't you think they miscounted the votes? So the first part, it was impossible that they could have won the election, is the event. And the question, don't you think they miscounted the votes, is the probability about that event. So in Spanish, the equivalent would be era imposible que ganaran las elecciones. So now, notice how we are using here an impersonal expression with the verb in imperfect and then the past subjunctive. And now the second part, which is don't you think they miscounted the votes, which is the question that expresses probability about this past event, is the one that is going to require the conditional perfect. So the equivalent in Spanish would be no habrían contado mal los votos? So far we have learned that the conditional perfect is used to express what would have happened but it didn't, or to express probability about a past event. So when we introduce the word pero after a conditional perfect sentence, what we're indicating here is what actually happened. So let's take a look at the sentence. Alba and Lydia would have gone to the protest. In Spanish, it would be Alba y Lidia habrían ido a la manifestación. So this is the event that would have happened, but it didn't. Now, comma, pero Ellas tenían otros planes. So what actually happened is that they had other plans, and this is why they didn't go to the protest. Now, notice that after the pero, this sentence is in the indicative, and here we're using the imperfect tense of the form tener. Now, let's go back to our cartoon. ¿Qué habría hecho MacGyver? So, habría hecho is the conditional perfect, and with this question is we're expressing probability, what would MacGyver have done? And that's it for today.